Thank you, Dr. Arif, for nice introduction. Today, I'm going to start the basic of R programming. R is an open source programming language, just like Python. It is used for statistical computing. It is one of the major popular programming languages today. R was inspired by S plus language. It is similar to S programming language. In today, R is more popular than Python, but the trend is that the Python will take the charge in some time because Python is gaining more popularity because of its simplicity and number of packages are very huge than that of R. R is having about 9,000 packages and Python has no limit as per the number of packages. To set up R, first of all we go to site. rproject.r. You can directly type here install R, and from here you can download R, and the latest version for R is R 4.1.2 for Windows system. From here you can save file and you can download it. After downloading, because in my system it is already downloaded and therefore I am directly going here. It is about 150 MB. So from here you can install the R software from here. I have already given instruction in the WhatsApp group for installing R and R Studio. This is R, and it will take some time, so don't be in hurry. Here. So from here you can install it and follow the instruction. As in my system it is already installed, so I'm saving my time. So the folder you no need to change any of the folder. You will install as per the given instruction. You will follow all the instruction given by the software. After installing R, you have to install IDE for R. R Studio is a very beautiful IDE for R programming language. So after that, for installing R in the similar manner, you can go to R Studio website. So I am googling it. R Studio install. So the site is rstudio.com, and from here there are so many options. So we have to go for the free version. So you have to download it, and after clicking that you will get here the latest version is this one, 2021.09.1 at this time, and you can download it, and after downloading it you can install it. So I have already installed it, and therefore after installing R Studio you will get the window like this. R Studio. R is opening now. So in this R Studio, you can see there are three windows here. The first one is environment window. Here all the variables will be displayed which is being used in your R programming language. This is the main window, and this is console, and a cursor is blinking here, and you can write your all the instruction and it will follow. Just like I am writing a very simple instruction 4 plus 5, and you can see the result is being displayed here 4 plus 5 9. This is the third part. This is very important part, and in this window file, plot, packages, help, your everything is being given. File means it is showing the file of all the current directory. So, and plot means if you have program for plotting, then that plot will be displayed here. Packages, what packages you will install, you have to install, and what are the different options are given here. Based on your need, you can install the packages here. So every package is here, and you can install. One more thing is that you can drag it here. And here you can write R script also. So if you will open for this, that one more window will appear here, and you can write program, and the result will be executed in the console window here. So this is the basic layout of your R Studio system. Now I am coming for some simple program here. Just like I have shown that 4 plus 5 equal to 9 is being displayed here. So it can be used as a calculator. So something which I want to say, that it can be used, the comment line can be written by using hash, and the first feature of R is it can be used as a calculator. It can be used as a calculator. That means addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, every basic operation can be used by using R. The second is, it is the alternative of SPSS software. We know that SPSS software is a very good tool for statistical computing. So R can be used, that means R can work everything which the SPSS can do, but in a better manner, but in a very easy manner also. So it is an alternative of SPSS programming language. It is free and open, as you have seen while installing it. It can also run from web browser also. There are so many web browser, onecompiler.com, rdrr.io. So from that you can directly run R. I'm showing it. There are so many direct compiler, browser based compiler, from where you can directly run it. and here you can say that this is the window for R, and you can directly run your program by writing here. The program will be executed here, and in this way it is a very good platform for executing R. So some simple operation like suppose 5 minus 3, so everything can be done here, very similar to just like MATLAB and Scilab. In MATLAB, Scilab also you can do everything, and in this programming language also you can do everything just like MATLAB, Scilab, Python, etc. For decimal number, you can directly write 2.*5/3. You can do like this, so you can see that the result can be displayed like this. Here you can store the variable also, but here you can write this sign arrow hyphen, and suppose I am storing some value like 2 plus 4 here, and suppose I am taking variable b and I am storing variable 5 plus 6 here. So let us check whether the variable has been stored or not. So let us check A. So 4 plus 2 equal to 6. So the things is good, working good. Likewise I can check B also, 11, that is good. I can directly make the mathematical operations on A and B also. So suppose I am taking A and A minus 6. So let us check, it is 0 because the value of A was 6 also. So likewise I am calculating B upon 2. Let us check. So it is 5.5 because the value of B was 11. So everything is doing right. So we can also calculate the square also. So for calculating the square, we simply write this symbol, cap symbol. Write the cap symbol, 2 square. We can also calculate exponential. Suppose I want to check the exponential. Exponential of 1. So its value is 2.71. We know that it is correct. For calculating square root of a mathematical function, the one method is SQRT, writing SQRT. SQRT of 4, it is 2. SQRT of 16, it is 4. We can write it also A minus 1.2. The value of A is 6 as we know, so A minus 1.2, it is 4.8. So square root of 4.8, it is 2.19. Let us check whether it is correct or not. So 2.19089, it is 089. For squaring cap 2, so it is 4.8, and it is correct because it was A minus 1.2. Now next is log function. So log function can also be calculated. For there are so many kind of log. It is log base exponential, it is log base 10. Okay, so log base 2, and likewise you can calculate every log. So for example, suppose I want to calculate log base e. So log 2, let us check what is the value. Oh sorry, it should be in bracket. Log 2, its value is 0.69. Let us check whether this value is correct or not. So log, suppose I am writing exponential also, because we know that log of exponential is same value, so the result should be 2, and here result is 2, therefore it is correct. Take some example of log base 10 also. So let us calculate log 10. So log 10, and here I am writing as 10. Let us check, its value is 1 as we expect here. Similarly, let us check log 100, on base it is 2 as we expect here. One more method for writing this is here 100, and we can write like this, base 10 100. I think it get reverse, so base should be written on right hand side. So like this we can also write, base should be written on right hand side. So log value can be calculated like this. We can declare so many values inside a variable also. Suppose I am writing a variable z, and I am writing here as first value and last value. First value is suppose is -1, and last value is suppose 6. And suppose I want to partition this range into small pieces of suppose 0.5, and here what is the mistake? I should have written sequence here. I forgot to write sequence here, seq. Okay. So here let us check what is the value of z. So as we expect, every value from -1 to 6 with interval 0.5. So -1.0, -0.5, 0. So every value has been displayed here. So let us check what is the number of values. So for this also, length function is there. So length of z, and number of values are 15. Let us check 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15. So it is correct. So in this way we can calculate the number of values here. Again, pi is also supported by r, and we can directly write as pi, and its value is 3.4. Now I am going to explain plot function. For plot function, let us write as x. One more thing is package. I forgot to explain before doing all these things. First of all, we have to install packages also. So install dot packages, it is the instruction. There are three main packages here. One is mass. So we can install mass package. So all the basic instructions will be for mass. In my system it is either install. Okay, mass should be written in double quote. It should be written in double quote. So we can install mass package. and it is installing. On my system it is already installed, so it is now installed. And for plotting case, the package name is ggplot2. ggplot2, we can install ggplot2 package for plotting purposes. So in your system you have to install these packages also to work smoother. And let us see what other important packages are there. You have installed mass, so many packages have been installed here. So now let us define first of all let us define the sequence here. So for sequence I am writing variable x. Let us, the first value is minus pi, the last range is suppose pi, and suppose the interval is 0.5. sequence, it is a sequence, therefore I have to write it as sequence. Now its value has been declared. Let us check, and it is correct. Now I want to calculate the sine curve here. So y equal to sine of x. First of all I have to declare the value of y in terms of x. So y has been declared. Now I am using plot function. So for plot function it should be between x and y and I can directly plot here. So you can see that the plot function has been displayed here in the plot. You can zoom out and see the plot function here, and because it is not very much clear, so we can use other type also, plot xy, and here type also, type equal to, here I am writing as L. So we have seen that it is now in terms of line. So in terms of line we can see that the curve is not very much smooth. So what should we do here for this? If the curve is not very much smooth, that means the interval is larger. So if we reduce the interval for getting the previous command back, we can just press the up side key. Now I am minimizing the range. Again I am writing y equal to sine x, and now I am plotting it, and now we can see that the curve get smoother here. So in this way we can do it. If I want to save the curve, then export, save as image, save as PDF, whatever you want, and it is asking the format, whether you want to store it in PNG, in JPG, TF, whatever you like, the format will be stored and save. You can name the plot also and save, and it will be saved in your current working directory. in this way you can write here, and if you want to change the directory also, you can go here and change the directory accordingly. So you can change the directory like this. So after plot command, I am giving you an assignment. Question is, my question is find log 2 5 to the power 5 to the power 6. This is the assignment, and I am sending the assignment in your WhatsApp group here. Books there are so many books for this. Learning R Studio, R Statistical Computing by Mark P. Vanderloo. Mark books. Let me open the notepad. Books. So first book is Computing by Vanderloo. Second book is R Graphics. Graphics. Code book by Winston Chang. And likewise third book is Nutshell by Joseph Felder. So these are some books, and if you want to learn from website, then spoken tutorial is a very good site and has been developed by IIT Bombay. So these are some basic things about this one. Now I am going to explain data frames. Data frame is a very important tool in R programming. So we will learn how to create the vector, and after that we will learn how to create data frame, because data frame is the advanced version of vector also. So first of all, I am writing a test. Suppose I want to create a vector. So for this, C stands for creation or concatenation also. So create a vector in which I am writing -2 4 5 suppose. So I have created this vector, and here you can see that this variable has been stored here. And now let us check. So I can see that -2 4 and 5, the vector has been created and checked here. Now again I am creating some vectors, suppose names. So names, create. In create I suppose I am I'm writing some names like Sis, Arif, Harun, Manish, Fayyaz. Suppose these are some names. And again I'm writing their age. Suppose I'm writing their age. So for this, suppose because it is number, I should not write it in quote. Suppose the age of Sis is 20, age of R is 25, age of Harun is 30, Manish is 35, Fayyaz is 18. Suppose these are the ages. Weight. Again, suppose I am writing weight as another variable. Suppose 50 kg, 52 kg, 60 kg, 62 kg, and last one is suppose 70 kg. Again, height. Suppose I am writing height C 167, 166. Now it is 171, 165, 180. So we can write other variable also. Jump. Suppose I am writing jump also. So 2 meter jump, 3 meter jump, 1 meter jump, 4 meter jump, 3 meter jump. So these are the some variables, and I have created the vectors and store the vectors inside the variable just like this. Now I am going to create data frame. So for this I am writing df. You can write any of the word here. So data frame, and I want to create. So for this the command is data.frame. Data.frame. So what variable I want to write in the data frame should be written here. Like I want to write names, age, weight, height, and jump. In this way I can create this data frame. Let us check whether this data frame has been okay. So this is my data frame here. Again I want to see the data frame in the tabulated format. So for this, here you can see that the tabulation format of this data frame has come here. So every information has been stored here, and we can see that the things has been given here. Okay. Now I'm going in a reverse order. I want to check that df data frame has which kind of um, attributes, so the name of data frame is df here, and for this we will use dollar sign, dollar. These are all the attributes. So df names, are here: Sis, Arif, Harun, Manish and Fayaz. These are the df names. Similarly, we can get the other variables also, just like we can, if we want to know the age factor, then we can do this command. Every command we can do by weight also can be obtained. So in this way everything can be obtained. Now suppose I want to add something. Suppose I want to calculate the BMI index. So formula for BMI index is weight upon height square. So suppose I want to add this one. So df equal to BMI equal to weight multiplied by 100 upon height square. Now let us view our new df data frame. Df dot BMI. I have written df dot BMI. I should have written df dollar BMI. So here you can see that the BMI has been inserted here. So in this way we can see everything here. Similarly, other factor can also be calculated like mean, median, mode. Suppose I want to calculate the mean of all the age. So all the data frame age I want to calculate. So what are the 25.6 are the age. Similarly, we can calculate median of all the data frame height. So 167 is the median value of all the data frame. Likewise, we can plot by taking any two factors from this data frame. Suppose I want to plot between age and weight. So data frame age versus data frame weight. So here the age and weight graph is shown here. So these are the things by which we can write. Suppose Suppose I want to write the instruction into a CSV file. So for this, write .csv, I want to write this data frame as csv dot csv. Okay, I have not, it should be written into quote, double quote. So in this way, this file has been stored here, stored somewhere. So here you can see that csv.csv file has been stored here. Okay, let us check the content. So these are the contents of this file. So in this way, we can see we can set the working directory also. So for this, we can set the working directory. Suppose I want to set my working directory into my main memory. So here I have 10 here, and then go to more and set as working directory. So in this way we can set my working directory here. We can set my working directory here. So again I am executing the same command and write my CSV file in my working directory. So here my file has been written here. Now next topic is R script. So for this, first of all I want to open the R script file, and the window will be appear like this, and the console can be cleaned by clicking on the broom icon. So if you click on the broom icon, everything will get clear. So first of all, we will understand what is an R script. So R script is a plain text file in which we can say our R code. Second point is this allow to show the work on the other, and we can reproduce and modify our result also. So it is like a program file, just we write our program in another compilers. So this is way on file, go to file, new file, and R script can be created here. Suppose I want to save my this script file into my folder in here. So I can create new folder, my work, and I can write my R script as this one, R script. So R script, so everything can be saved in this R script file. So let us write a very simple program. Suppose I am writing as test. This hyphen can be obtained by pressing Alt and hyphen symbol. So create some variables, suppose 3, 4, 5 and 56 and -6. So we can create my test here, and we are going to declare some variable variable 1, suppose its value is 2. In the same way, variable 2, suppose its value is 6. So I have declared two variables. I should have work here. Test is equal to C 3 4 56 and -6, and likewise variable 1 equal to 2, and similarly variable 2 equal to 6. Here I am pressing broom item so that everything get clear. For execution of this code, I have to click on run. So by pressing on run, the last line will be executed. For executing everything here, we have to select all the lines, and therefore everything will be executed here. We can see that test variable and all the 3 lines can be executed here. The shortcut code is also shift plus enter. Control plus enter. So if I will press control plus enter, then everything will be executed here. Now what is comment? We can comment and uncomment also. So every line which we want to comment should be selected, go to code, and here comment and uncomment this one, control shift plus C. So if we comment, then everything selected will be inside the comment line, and similarly if you want to uncomment, then go to code and press on uncomment line, then everything will be uncommented. So in this way we can skip the section of code which we want to comment or uncomment. Okay, so save the script. I am saving the script, and in this way this portion has been understood. Okay, now I want to understand how to set the how to get the working directory, how to know that in which directory I am working. So the shortcut is can be written here, get working directory. So get working directory inside code. So I am working in I directory, and therefore the address has been here. Similarly, I can set the working directory also. There are two methods, one is by direct method and one is by writing here. So if I want to set that some special directory, then set working directory I can write, and address of that particular directory I can write here, and in this way we can set a particular directory. Okay, and similarly everything can be written here. So this is all about our script. Now next topic is how to indexing and slicing data frame. How to indexing and slicing data frame. So first of all, I want to declare a variable to store the data set. Suppose I am writing into a new script. I am writing into a new script, and I want to close all the other script here. First of all, I am closing everything here, and then new script, and I am saving that script to my script 2. Okay, so first of all, I want to read my file csc.csv. So I am csc department. So I am read.csv and name of the file. Name of the file is csc csc.csv. In this way I can write the command, and let us check it, and here the program has been executed by pressing Ctrl plus enter. Let us check by view csc department. Okay, so let us check it, and checking it, I have to press on the source button. So if I have pressed the source button, then that line has been executed here, because I have pressed 2 times, and therefore it has executed 2 times. Now I want to write csc department 3, third column. So I have written this. Then what should be the output here? Tool, and here age has been displayed. So here we can see that 1, 2 and 3, it is the third column. Third column has been displayed here. That means age has been displayed here. Similarly, if I am writing csc department 3, then we can see that the third column has been displayed here. Third column, first, second and third column has been displayed here. Okay, so in this way we can write the things, and we can write the things. Similarly, csc department, and if I want to concatenate second and third row, I want to concatenate second and third row, I want to write the 2 row information here. Again this will be the command, and if I want to execute this line, then it will be like this. The 2 column has been written here, the 2 column has been concatenated here and has been displayed here, first and third. Likewise, if I want to write second and fourth column, then likewise we can execute this one, we can execute this line. Control plus enter, and there we can see that name and weight. Name is the second column and weight is the fourth column. So in this way we can write this thing also. Again I want to fetch all the names of csc department. So we can write only index csc department, and we can write only 1. So if we write only 1, then the first index will be displayed here, and first index is, as we know, name. Here first index is the number, it is actually second. So all the names have been displayed here. This can also be written by writing the name command, names. This can also be written by this command also. We can select the line which I want to execute, and in this method also we can get all the names. So by writing the object, in the case of R language, the attribute are set to be object. Everything here is an object because it is an object oriented programming, and therefore all the attributes here are set to be an object. Okay, now I want to calculate the subtable of this table. So if I write the command, so for this I write the command sub data. So sub data is the subset of my CSE department, and I want to select those names who are having height of more than 170. I want to select which height is larger than 170, and information of the table should contain information of the table should contain names, age, names and age only. Okay, so let us see here, and I want to execute this one by clicking on the source. So we can see that some mistake, I think error in data frame. Okay, actually here I should have written height. Now let us check. The object should be written like this. So now let us view the data. View subdata. Let us see what is the output in this case. So here we have seen that only two persons are having height more than 170, and in this way we can create the subdata subtable. We can also print command can also be given here. So print subdata can also be written here. So I am going to save the script and run all the commands here, and here I have the output of the required frame. Harun is having height 171 and Fayyaz is having height 180, and in this way I have got. Now I want to extract a particular entry. So for that, if I want to extract a particular entry, what should I do? I want to extract a particular entry. Suppose I want to extract 60 here. So for 60, it is 1, 2, 3 and 4th. It is 4th item. So from CSE department, 4th entry I have taken. Now for this 4th entry, 1, 2, 3 and 4th entry, it is in the third row. So for this I will write third row. But this should be written into one more bracket. So if I execute this one, then 60. Let us check. 60 is the desired field. Okay, 60 is the desired field. In this way I can get a particular data. So this is all about the R script, and I am giving you assignment and it will be posted on the group. Now my next topic of discussion is matrices by using data frame. So for this I am creating a new R script file and saving it as matrix. So first of all I am writing some line of code. First line is to clear the workspace. And the code is remove list equal to ls. This is the code, and after that I am fetching the data frame which I have created just as CSE department. So declare a data frame. What is name of my data frame? See here, CSE. So I am taking name as CSE department, alt hyphen and read.csv and name is CSE department. department csv dot csv, sorry, csv dot csv. Now I will view csv department. Now let us execute all the lines by pressing Ctrl plus Enter, and let us check, and I have got the data here we have got the table. That means everything is right here. Now I want to create matrix. So for this subdata, I am creating subdata, and this subdata equal to csv department and files from 1 to 3 for age, weight and height. I am taking age, weight and height. So first to third, and see names of objects are age, weight and height. Age, weight, and third object is height. So let us check whether this is correct or not. So matrix A, I'm naming it matrix A, and is matrix from subdata and I want to print the matrix A. So let us execute Ctrl plus Enter. Let us check, and here I am successfully getting the matrix values 20, 50, 160, and therefore we can easily see that I have got the matrix value. Now one more thing is that if I want to print the identity matrix, suppose I am taking value as the variable. So if I am taking the value as the variable, then what are the values for the identity matrix? 1 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 1. This is the value of identity matrix. Now I'm creating it, and now let us check this value here. Matrix B, I am creating another matrix so that we can perform mathematical operations. So matrix values value and row equal to 3 and column equal to 3 and distribution is by row. So in this way also we can create matrix by some vector. So let us check. Print matrix B. So I am executing this, and here we can see that we have got the identity matrix here. So in this way we have got two matrix, matrix A and matrix B. Now let us perform some simple matrix operation. First matrix A plus matrix B. Now matrix A minus matrix B. Now let us matrix A multiplied by matrix B. So let us perform these operation, and here the output results are here. First matrix was 20, 50, 176. So if I see here, what is the output of matrix A plus B? So 21, that means the value has been added here. These two are remains, these two are same, so therefore because of 0 it is same. Here 52 become 53 and 171 become 172, and therefore matrix A plus matrix B is okay. What about matrix A minus B? It become 19, it become 51 from 52, and it become 170 from 171. That means this is also okay. And what about this one, 20? So here we can see that a linear operation has been performed row wise and column wise, and because of this the remaining values become 0. That because in matrix B only, matrix B is an identity matrix, and therefore this is like elemental matrix multiplication, and due to elemental matrix multiplication we have got this kind of matrix. So this is not the true matrix multiplication. So what should we do for true matrix multiplication? As we know that for true matrix multiplication, the number of column in the first matrix should be equal to number of rows in the second matrix. So we are going to perform true matrix multiplication. True matrix multiplication. So for performing true matrix multiplication, what should we do? Matrix A, and here we will write this sign, and within this sign we will write star. So within the percentage sign we will write the star sign, and this will calculate the true matrix multiplication. So it is very easy by applying this one. So let us check whether the true matrix multiplication is been performed or not. So here we have got the answer. So we can see that 20, 50, 167, 20, 50, 167, here 25, 52, 166, 30, 60. So it is because it is an identity matrix, and therefore if we multiplying then we expect the same matrix, and therefore here we have got the same matrix, and therefore we can say that the matrix multiplication operation is okay also. Now next thing which I want to test is transpose. How to calculate the transpose? We know that we will get the transpose matrix if we will invert the matrix by placing our finger on the opposite corner of the matrix. So how can we get the transpose? So in our language there is very easy command. Only we have to apply T matrix. So if we apply T matrix A, I want to calculate transpose of matrix A. So let us check whether we have got the two matrix or we have got the transpose or not. So here we can see that the transpose of matrix has been here. The actual matrix was 2050. So 2052 171 is on the same location, and inverted position are 167 to 30, and therefore if we draw a line on this diagonal, then the mirror image will be formed, and this is the actuality of the transpose matrix. Similarly we can get the determinant also. So for this, the very simple operation determinant det. So if I calculate the determinant of this matrix A, then there is very simple operation determinant of matrix A, and we can and here we have got the determinant of matrix A. Again now we will save our script. We have to save our script time to time, otherwise unsaved script may be vanished. Now I'm giving you an assignment question, and it will be posted on the group. Again, operation on matrix and data frame. I want to perform the operation, different operations. So for this I want to calculate the sum. Solve function. Solve matrix A. So here we have got the every value of its transpose. So in this way we have got the values. Again I want to calculate the sum using for loop. Sum using for loop. Here I want to check the time of execution also. I will solve the matrix. I will calculate the sum of the matrix by two ways, one by the normal method and other by using the OR procedure. So let us check how much time of execution both methods will do. So in the first case, when I am using the natural method, so let us take a variable start time. So that we can store the system dot time here, and now I am performing my operation. Total sum is initialized as 0. Here in case of R, we have to use this one. Total sum will be initialized as 0. So for I in 1 to 3rd row again for j in 1 to 3 total sum will be updated as previous total sum plus matrix A I j. So here I have written the things, and let us check what is the output time. Control enter. Okay, one more thing I should have written here. Print what total sum, print total sum. Now in time, and now system time will be saved again here. So what should be the total time? Total time is in time minus start time. In time minus start time will be the total system time. So I have to calculate this one. Some problem 1 2 1 2 3. So there is one extra bracket. So what should be the total time? Control enter. 0.460 is the total time of execution in this case. Now I am doing the same thing. The result is 741. Now I want to do the same thing by using inbuilt function within the R programming. So calculating sum by using inbuilt function. So again start time system dot time sum matrix A simple function sum matrix A, and now in time again I am going to store system time. once again, and calculate the difference between two time, in time minus start time, and let us check what is the result in this case. So the result is same here, and the time is very less, 0.039. In the previous case the time was 0.460. so naturally the time of execution is very less, and therefore we should use the inbuilt function if we want to run the program in more efficient way. Let us save the script here. Again, next thing I want to explain is how to sum each row and sum of each column. Sum of each row and sum of each column. So there is very simple command, row sum, row sums for matrix A, row sums for matrix A, and similarly for column sums matrix A, for column sum also. So so this is the value for row sum and column sum here, and this is first row, second row, third row, and this is the sum, and this way we can get the sum of all these columns. So again now I want to learn how to add one more row to data frame. To add one more row to data frame. So what is the name of my data frame? Name of my data frame is CSE department. So CSE department I have written here, and here I will use rbind function. So rbind function is responsible for adding new row to our data frame. Sometime we have to use some new row to our data frame, and therefore in that case this function will be efficient for that case. And what is name of my data frame? CSE in capital, CSE department. This is name of my data frame, and the new data which I want to add should be converted into data frame also. So data dot frame I have to declare it, and let us check what are the values. So let us check the structure: name, age, weight, height, jump, BMI. Name, age, weight, height. First is name equal to, suppose name is Jamil. Age equal to 45. Name, weight, height equal to 45. jump equal to 3 and BMI equal to here height should also be there, I think. Weight, height, jump, weight, height, here height equal to suppose 170, height equal to 170 and BMI equal to 4500 upon 170 square. Now view CSE department. I am saving the script and executing these two lines. Error in event number of column match. Okay. And here So here
एक दो पर्स ऑर्डर करना है। Hey.
now I will learn how to merge and import data. So for this I am viewing my data. So view CSE department. Once again I am executing this code, and here we can see that Jamil sir has been added here. Now I want to see the summary. Summary is very important and interesting function in the R. So if we type the summary and want to know the summary of CSE department, then let me see what will be the output. So here I can see that summary of CSE department data has been given. Minimum value, maximum value, minimum value of the serial number. There are so many objects here. So for every object, minimum and maximum value, mean, median value, everything has will be given here. So here for serial number, minimum value is 1, maximum value is 6, mean is 3.5, median is 3.5, first quadrant 2.25, third Q is 4.75. Name is a character, its class is character, and mode is character. So length is 6. Number of data is 6, and for age also everything has been given, and this is very important thing, and we can easily understand that the main thing in every data is to calculate the mean, median, maximum, minimum. These are the very important. So by applying the summary function we can get the most of the things here. Similarly, if I want to know the class, then class of CSE department. So similarly, let us see what thing we will obtain here. So it is a data frame. CSE department is a data frame. Another thing, what is type? What is type of CSE department? So type of is also, it is of list type. It is of list type because there are a collection of different kind of objects here. It is the number means numeric, and this is character, and everything is numeric here. So it is a collection of different kind of data type. I will explain data type tomorrow, and here I will only tell that list is a collection of different kind of data type, and therefore it is of type div. If we want to know more about the type of function, then there is a shortcut key also, help. For every function for which we want to know type of, so this is very fusion method, and here we will know everything about. So for every programming language, help is a very important section. Uses type of X argument, value, character, string. So everything can be obtained from here. Again, now if I want to extract some row from the from this data frame, CSE department data frame, then there is a function head. So if we write the head of CSE department, then it will give me the 6 head, starting 6, because only 6 data items are here. Therefore all the data item, suppose the size of table is too huge, so in that case, if we use the head function, in that case also we will get the 6 starting rows. If we want to know only 2 starting rows, then we will write the function like this. So by default it will represent 6 row, but if we want only a specific number of row, then we will write the number of rows there. And similarly from the int side, that means tell side, we will write the same function, number of rows can also be written, otherwise it will print the 6 last rows, it will print the 6 last rows. So let us execute this, and here Fayaz and Jamil is last 2 rows, and it has been printed here. So in this way we can know. Now one more important function is structure function. Structure, it is also very important thing. I want to know what is the structure of my data frame CSE department, and let us see the structure of CSE department. And here we can see that data frame, it is of data frame 6 objects and 7 variables are there. So 6 objects, name of 1 2 3 4 5 6 objects and 7 variables. 6 objects and 7 variables. These are the variables and these are the objects. So in this way 6 objects and 7 variables are there. These are the type of these variables. These are the type of these variables, name, number, character. So these are the type of variable here. Now merging of data frame, we will understand how to merge the data frame. Merging data frame. So what are the advantages of this? It can make data more available. So suppose some data is there in one table and some data are there in another table, and we want to obtain the whole data, the full data. So in that case we have to merge the data from table 1 and data from table 2 both. So it will improve the quality of data also, and it will reduce the complexity also. So this is very important thing, and we can do the thing. Suppose suppose here